Osil, Bixi OP, Crypto, leaving all of their killing strategies and knowledge. Theirs is another thing, due to which no one is able to touch their level. And that is, the professional 5-finger claw style, used itself, to improve overall gameplay. Many people do claw, but create and claw style is possible, only when you have knowledge of claw layout, from basic to advanced. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. In this video, I take you, though everything from finding where should the fingers be placed on the screen controller, the necessary settings adjustments, improving gameplay techniques, and player psychology to creating claw. All the work that too on phone, which you can use both on PUBG Mobile and BGMI. Even if you have zero knowledge of layout or claw, still watch this video completely, because by the end of this video, you will have learned better clawing than 90% players. And throughout the video, I will be teaching something or the other about claw psychology. So do not skip even a second, otherwise you may miss very important information. Alright, so let's start by collecting buttons. The first thing that comes first is whenever you're collecting buttons for an 5-finger claw, so always divide them into 2 folders. Left index finger, used for action buttons, firing and place it on the top left side of the screen. Right index finger, usually for secondary actions, like jumping, crouching, or reloading. Place it on the top right side of the screen. If tomorrow you become a professional esports player, your clients will also send you layout in the same way. And this will increase your working efficiency, because you won't have to look for things anymore. They will be kept in an organized way. But organization is a later matter. The biggest problem is this: where to place the other buttons, and that too, in a comfortable space. Let's see its solution. Now I'll not ask you to take place buttons at the bottom right or left of the screen, because you also know that there isn't much good layout available on these sides, which can lead to touch issues and reduced flexibility. Instead, buttons should be placed at the there, where side to ensure fingers are always on the screen, and corresponding buttons when fighting enemies, just like this. You can see that I have placed the button in the form of a summary, but along with that, the important buttons which here faced back, they have also been included, so you can pause and note it. In this way, you can optimize your 5-finger claw for the 3 layouts. Now after control setup, the element which you will use the most in your gameplays, and without which the claw are incomplete, that is, while playing the game, you will not adjust the necessary settings adjustments, then the claw will become very unprofessional. And then, you take 5-finger or 4-finger, your layout will look garbage. So understand this point carefully. In PUBG Mobile, you will find the settings button here. Just change some important basic settings here, as a 5-finger claw player. Alright, so now you have learned everything, from the basics of claw to creating amazing layout. But how will we know that what the 5-finger claw technique is? Or how to practice something new and unique? Or how to create your own claw style? As big players have done, let me tell you, what is the psychology of a professional player? If you are a new player who does not know much about claw, so instead of completing your playing on time, you should see what new buttons you can master, and how to use those buttons to create new techniques in your gameplay, and how to apply those techniques in your gameplays. The claw with which I started this channel, I learned that in just 7 days, and this was possible because while I was sawing to the gameplay, I was create a plan in my mind, where I was imagining that some such techniques would come in this part of the gameplay. Now, although I didn't know how to create those techniques, and I also had no gameplay skills, but still, I did not put any limits on my imagination. And what happened was that, when I sat down to match, I had to create those techniques myself, no matter how much time it took me. Sometimes, I spent 2 hours to complete a good reflex of 2 seconds when I sat down to match. I wondered how I could create those techniques, and how can I create it on the game version I am playing. I used to watch lots of tutorials, due to which I was able to create those techniques. And that's how I learned such a good claw in 7 days. And if you also want to become a good claw player, then I would prefer you should follow this thing. Your main focus should always be on creating a technique. Time doesn't matter, because once you have created the technique, you can use it many in different ways. All these things totally depend on your imagination. But now you will say that we can't even imagine what technique to bring at what time. So the only thing I would suggest to you is that you start consuming a little more content. You can watch a lot of top players in your niche, as well as top from different niches, to see how they use the technique. when you consume a lot of content, the brain will start working automatically. That, at this time, I will need some such technique, and then you just have to create it. And if you can imagine anything, you can create it too. Adopt this, and do not put any limitation on your imagination, even by mistake, thinking that I don't know how to create it, or I don't have this device. All you have to do is see. Whether you can think of that or not, the creation will happen. Now, how to create your own claw style. So, first of all, you should know what an claw style is. The claw style basically has to follow a theme. For example, Osal uses Chinese refluxes in his claw style. All its close or mid-range use Chinese movement or reflux. While Bixi OP recently, the claw style has changed, and it, using grip and controls, aiming very effectively. And Crypto's claw style is left middle finger scope control, where he makes smooth sprays with his left middle finger, and the whole gameplay goes like this. In the same way, you can also create your own claw style. To create your own claw style, all you have to do is see which things you use the most in your gameplays. At least these things are used in every gameplay: joystick, aiming, fire, jumping, crouching, and reloading. So if you can do any kind of technique for these things, or do it yourself, or do some mixing of them by watching the top players, then you can also create your own claw style. Now this is a very long process, and I have engaged more than 15 videos in choosing my clawing style, and I'm still in doing my clawing, so there is no need for you to hurry in this. Because claw is a learning process, you can never say that you have learned the whole art of claw, because whenever you feel that you have know everything, you will get many more techniques like strategies and claws, which you would not have known to use. Now I hope, after watching this video, you must have become a pro 5-finger claw player from a noob player. Of course, there's a lot more to learn on this topic, so if you want part 2, then comment, why not? And yeah, I'll meet you in another video. Bye.